One of these days, I'm going to start up a video and it's going to make absolutely no sense because I'm going to start talking about something, but I'm going to forget about what I'm talking about in the middle of it and just talk about something else. And I'm going to pretend it didn't happen in the last video while I had a migraine. So let's ignore that part. But also, I just don't plan out these videos at all. So I want to talk about like Linux and how much freedom you get with it specifically. Because I feel like people don't really talk about how fucking cool it is. And yeah, okay, there are like people who talk about like I'm not gonna talk about like the Unix porn subreddit because that is probably I fucking hate that place, dude. I mean, yeah, I get it. It was the Linux Rice looks fucking cool as hell. I don't care. I don't give a shit. but, but the fact that you're able to just do all of that and make your fucking Linux and make your what Linux work environment look absolutely amazing just to your exact preference is absolutely beautiful. And I can't get over how nice it is. And whenever I like switch back to Windows, like I miss all the like the useful things that I've not only configured for myself, but also some of the design things I made just for what my Linux environment. And while I'm not really too into customization personally, like the most interesting I have is for i3 my Wi-Fi, instead of saying like like Wi-Fi speed or whatever, I literally put pissing speed. For like RAM usage, I put brain power, and that's apparently at 2.9 gigabytes. But beyond that, like if you just like Google it and just find like a Linux Rice, you're gonna understand what I mean. Because like people have like translucent terminals, text editors. I used to do that, but I kind of just got sick of it. But like also not only that, like just the rounded corners, like good edges, like good coloring. A lot of people, and it takes a lot of time to even do that. Like you have to have some artistic talent and recognize what colors go with what. And I do not have that. I just like the color purple, and that's why my Vim looks like that. That's right. There's no other reason for it. I actually like Vim so much. I'm actually gonna, what is it? There we go. This is literally why my Vim looks like this. Whoa, whoa, Vim, it's basically black, but let me tell you, that's purple. That's a dark purple background, baby. That's exactly right. Anyway, but jokes aside about that, like Emacs for instance, while I don't use Emacs personally, I have so much respect for it because of just how customizable it is. Like if you don't like something, you can just change it. You know, for instance, let me go back to NeoVim. Let's just say you don't like this. You see this bottom bar? Fuck it. You don't want it? Get rid of it. Who needs it? It's like actually crazy how they just allow you to remove a core function. I remember when I first started with the Emacs as well. Excuse me. They had a little like what, taskbar hotbar. The first thing I did after looking at it is like, bro, get that shit out of here. Get that weak Microsoft Word bullshit out of my fucking face. And so I got rid of it. It was nice, and like it made me feel a lot better every time I used Emacs. Actually, matter of fact, I wonder if I even have. If you're seeing this part, I simply did not have Emacs installed. But anyway, it's kind of crazy how you're just able to do so much with a lot of the software that you have and get. Obviously, not everything's gonna be Emacs or NeoVim. No, nothing's ever gonna be Emacs. Let me rephrase. But you have like you have stuff like what, KDE Plasma. People look at it and just look at it as some like what is it called? I don't want to call it an alternative, but like a lookalike to the Windows desktop, which is a fair assessment to make. They look near identical. Uh, I didn't realize how much you can do to the fucking desktop environment. You could just turn it into a tiling window manager. Why fucking God's green earth would you ever do that? You can. You fucking can. But customization doesn't just stop at the application level or even the window manager level. Like it comes with the actual operating system that you're using, or I guess distro in this case. Like for instance, I'm about to say Emacs. Arch Linux is highly customizable. So is most distros, of course, but Arch Linux is kind of one that you build yourself and figure it out from there. Uh, and I'm using a derivative called, or a distro called CatchyOS, which is a fork. Maybe it's plastered on top of Arch. There are other distributions like Manjaro OS, which is garbage and awful, and you should avoid at all costs. I got someone really mad, and it's funny. But beyond that, Manjaro Linux is essentially based off Arch. It's shares a lot of the same things as Arch, but it's not Arch. What does that mean? Fuck if I know. And one of the coolest things I've seen was from a guy called FaceDev. If you don't know who this is, I highly recommend you check him out. Hopefully I'm gonna remember to take a screenshot and to post a picture like somewhere here. Or here. He made a video about building his own Linux distro, and it was probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like genuinely speaking, the fact that he was able to do all of that just to say fuck you to the Linux community is so based. I fucking love that guy. But not even just like that. There are also like other distros, like for instance, my favorite one, Hannah Montana Linux. I'm glad God put me on the same earth as a person who made that. And there's also Among Us Linux. No, we're just gonna sit in silence until you understand how fucking weird that is. Beyond that, I think it's just very cool that we're able to like just do all of that. Because now we have so many versions of like just Arch as it is. If you want like Arch made for babies, you can go with Endeavor OS, which is, in my opinion, a very solid operating system. That's what I started with on my Linux journey. Or you can use Mint. If you like, like beating your head in with a hammer, of course you can use Mint. But I would recommend literally using any other Debian-based distribution that's not Ubuntu. Anyway, someone's going to get really mad and confused by my statement. I'm just not a big fan of Debian-based distributions. If you don't know what that means, it's okay. Honey, it's fine. You can relax. I believe in you. Anyway. I just really love the fact that I'm able to just do whatever I want to not only my system, the applications that I use, and even my the environment I work in. I switch between i3 and KDE Plasma because whenever I'm like want to do like programming or I guess programming, I would always switch to X11 because it just makes things easier for me. It makes sense for me, and also that's where I do all my recording and not video editing, but I do most of my video editing on here. And streaming, because let me fucking tell you, streaming on Linux is the equivalent to the ninth circle of hell, and gaming while streaming is probably, like the 10th. They don't tell you about the 10th because of how fucking bad it is, but Jesus Christ, I cannot stream and play games at the same time. But beyond that caveat, beyond that minor inconvenience I suffer through, it's still good, and I highly recommend it. But that's where I do all my streaming for Linux, and that's where I do all my coding for Linux, because it just feels so much better. And I'm able to just, be in an environment that not only that I configured, that I know personally. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that having like default key bindings is good. You should be used to the key bindings, but also you should learn, I don't want to say newer things, but you should also learn how to configure it yourself. So you have a much more personalized touch, and so that you know what to do when you want to do something. That's why I fucking love it. Like, for instance, I literally have a command that sends me directly to my dev environment and opens up a tmux instance, and it's actually like the coolest thing I feel like I've ever done in Bash or ZHS. I was like, hell yes, and I just really appreciate all things I'm allowed to do. If you really like tinkering personally, like obviously Linux is not for everyone, and people are going to argue and say, yes it is, no it's not, this and that, whatever. There's going to be a small subset of people who are like, we should keep this closed off from everyone. All right, you sound like a fucking Apple loser. God damn it, dude. God fucking damn it. Anyway, if you like tinkering, like genuinely speaking, Linux is probably a fantastic place to be, or use, I guess, because you can just do whatever you want with it. And it's so much fun. Like genuinely speaking, like if you had a chance to like actually just start configuring, just throwing shit at the wall until something works, then yeah, you're gonna have a great time. But if you're not really too into programming or I guess like doing configurations, I see where it might be a little intimidating. But honestly speaking, in most cases, Linux distributions just do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, which is nice. It is insane how far Linux has come, and it's kind of funny that now that Linux is more like widespread, people talk more shit about it because they used it, and they don't realize that it's kind of bad. No. I fucking love Linux. Linux is a fantastic operating system, even though it has a lot of caveats. I already made a video about it. If you haven't watched it already, please watch that video. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. I know it's way more incoherent because I'm running out of ideas and I need to come up with more. My fucking one video put me on such a high that I can never ever achieve anymore. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. A big ol' adios, gamers. Gamers? Nerds. Linux users? Cringe lords. I don't know, I can't think of anything. Anyway, ciao.